Mic check. One, two, three. I'm not hearing anything on the speakers. Mic check. One, two, three. Okay, I can hear it on the speakers now. Mic check. One, two. Mic check. One, two. Mic check. One, two, three. Mic check. One, two, three. Mic check. One, two. 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 Mic check. One, two.
Planning and Zoning Commission meeting to order on Monday, May 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. We will first have the invocation by Commissioner Yocum, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Vice Chair Juarez. Please stand if you're able to.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today to give honor and praise. You are the source of all that is good. You are the source of all of our blessings. Thank you for every gift that we have been given. We thank you for the opportunity to come together this evening. We ask for your hand of blessing on this meeting, as well as looking after our troops around the world. We ask that you would guide and direct our meetings so that it is full of wisdom, productivity, and respect for one another. Thank you for helping us to accomplish our work and our goals this day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please follow me to the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That'll take us to roll call, please.
Commissioner Brems,
Here.
Commissioner Robertson,
Here.
Vice Chair Juarez,
here.
Chair Singleton,
Here.
Commissioner Yocum,
Here.
Commissioner Klob,
Here.
and Commissioner Thomas.
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Thank you. That'll take us to the call to the public. If you wish to speak, please complete a speaker card and submit it to the chairman prior to the start of the meeting. The procedures to follow if you address the commission are: Commission requests that you express your ideas in 3 minutes or less and refrain from any personal attacks or derogatory statements about any city employee, a fellow citizen, or anyone else, whether in the audience or not. The chairman will limit discussion whenever he deems such an action appropriate to the proper conduct of the meeting. I do not have any speaker cards, but is there anybody that would like to come to the call to the public? Seeing none, I will close the call to the public. That'll take us to agenda item 4.1, minutes. Commission, any comments on it? Can I have a motion?
I move that the minutes be approved as presented.
Motion by Commissioner Thomas. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Klob. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? That passes. That takes us to agenda item 5.1, GPA 23-05. This is a public hearing. The Planning and Zoning Commission shall discuss and take action on a request for a minor general plan amendment on approximately 184 acres, effectively changing the future land use designation from commercial, medium-density residential, and master plan community to mixed use. The site is generally located at the southwest corner of West Farrell Road and North John Wayne Parkway in the city of Maricopa. This is for discussion and action. Take it away, Derek.
Thank you, Chairman Singleton. Members of the Commission, Derek Shearer with the Planning Division of Development Services Department for the city. Here to present the next item, agenda items 5.1 and 5.2. I have grouped both of these together as a single presentation. They are companion requests and are dependent on one another. The applicant here is Rose Law Group on behalf of SP Dunn/Auction LLC for property located at the southeast corner of West Farrell Road and North John Wayne Parkway on approximately 184 acres indicated on the site plan there in yellow. This is a request for a minor general plan amendment and a rezone from the Avalea Planned Area Development to the Maricopa Towne Center Planned Area Development for the 184 acres of vacant agricultural land for the development of various commercial and residential uses. The minor general plan amendment over the 184 acres seeks to change the current designation of commercial, medium density residential, and master plan community to mixed use, as we see on the screen above. The rezone request is to rezone from the Avalea PAD, which was placed before the city was incorporated while still under the jurisdiction of Pinal County. The site has sat dormant for a while, and the applicant is coming in to rezone it. It'll be in the new zoning ordinance. It'll be a planned area development, PAD, going to the mixed use as a base zone in that PAD. So we're going from the CB1 local business and TR transitional to mixed use. These requests are in anticipation of the commercial and residential development. The minor general plan amendment is necessary for the companion rezone request. The rezone cannot be approved without the GPA being approved. The Maricopa Towne Center is a request to focus on a flexible land use pattern to allow for a variety of horizontal or vertical mixed uses. A request to permit a spreading or clustering of residential uses with a maximum residential count of 2,113 residential units, or a maximum overall density of 11.48 dwelling units per acre. And what that means is you can see on that bubble chart there that it's providing for flexibility where it isn't very area specific on the exact use, that there may be some overlap, there may be some carryover. The overall maximum residential units are 2113. The applicant will either has the ability to cluster those into higher density multifamily unit areas or spread single family. And it's also with that, the commercial mixed in with it, whether it's mixed use being horizontal mixed use being vertical mixed use, or straight commercial. This PAD allows a flexibility for evolving market conditions so that this area can be developed. Again, for the PAD, this example I have up here, this is a single-family detached product that is proposed in the PAD. On the right-hand side, we'll see illustrative product diagrams for your traditional single-family, but then also other non-traditional atypical single-family like cluster development, auto court housing, alley-loaded housing, a lot of the housing that we don't see here, but you'll see in the valley that it's been traditionally used, it just hasn't developed here yet. As you can see in the single-family detached, we have a variety of lot sizes going from about 2,500 square feet for a small lot to 25 to 7, and then 7,000 plus. So we can fit in a variety of different housing choices depending on the market conditions and how this will develop. With the PAD deviating from the established mixed-use zoning-based zone district, in the PADs, we're required applicants to have a design elements table. We have it in our zoning ordinance, and every PAD, depending on the variations from the base code that are being applied, you have to meet a certain number of criteria for those design elements. For this development, which is unique compared to others, we've had a couple flexible PADs come in, but this one is a bit more unique with the types of uses and everything. So staff worked with the applicant over a course of several meetings, developing their own design elements table to satisfy the offsets for these variations for going smaller on the lots, going smaller some places for the setbacks, and then what the community gets in return for those variations from that base zoning. The proposed general plan future land use map designation of mixed use will be consistent with the Maricopa Towne Center PAD zoning with use of the mixed use zoning district as a basis for the site. For general plan objectives, I've listed one that up here that the applicant meets with this. However, in the narrative, the applicant has listed out quite a bit more for our general plan, that why the general plan amendment is appropriate for this area, and then why the zoning change is appropriate in accordance with that GPA change. Conformance with the zoning ordinance, with the approval or recommendation for approval of the minor GPA amendment, the rezone would be consistent with the general plan and the PAD. Any changes to the district boundaries necessary to achieve the balance of land uses desired by the city are consistent with the general plan, and the amendment will promote growth in the city in an orderly manner. Public outreach for this application. On March 26th, first letter of notification, site posting, a neighborhood meeting was held on April 10th. A summary of the citizen participation is in the commissioner's packet, summarizing the attendance and some of the questions that were presented at the neighborhood meeting. This application was posted in the newspaper. A second notification went out to neighbors in the area, 600-foot vicinity, and now we have the Planning and Zoning Commission, and then on June 17th, the City Council meeting. Staff is recommending approval of minor general plan amendment case number GPA 23-05 and the rezone map amendment case PAD 23-04. The applicants and their consultants are here in attendance. They have a presentation should the commission wish to see it, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the commissioners may have.
Thank you, Derek. I guess we can take the presentation if you guys want to present it before we ask questions.
Chair Singleton, members of the commission, my name is John Gillespie. I'm a land use attorney with the Rose Law Group, 7144 East Stetson. Really pleased to be here on behalf of Vestar. Vestar is a nationwide commercial developer, really top of the game in the country and headquartered right out here in Arizona. Mr. Ryan Nash is a VP with Vestar who's here with us today. And it's really been a pleasure to work with your staff to go through a robust process on design elements and guidelines that really make this PAD something that the city is going to be really proud of, attract really great commercial projects here to the city at this location that in 2006 it was zoned for commercial and for transitional uses, including residential. Since 2006, there's been a few changes. The Hogenes has expanded its operations at the governmental center there. Really good things happening there. And then one of the other big things, the Sonoran Desert Parkway, we provided that land to complete that parkway connection right through the middle of this parcel. So it changes kind of the vision of what can be done here, and it really is bringing to life that an excellent commercial development can be done here. So we're really excited about those aspects, and I'm happy to go through my full slides if you'd like, Chair Singleton, or if you prefer to ask questions that you might have, I defer to you.
I think maybe just go through the slides just in case it answers any questions commissioners might have.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, when you think of Vestar, think of Tempe Marketplace, Desert Ridge Marketplace, and Phoenix. These are the high quality developments that Vestar is doing here in our state. Twin Creek, Tempe, Chandler, Phoenix, and now we're excited to see a good project come here to Maricopa. As you can see here, this is the Avalea PAD, an overall design that was put in 2006. Coming on your screen here, you'll see how it was kind of planned initially to have commercial to the west and commercial and residential to the east. With the Desert Sonoran Parkway now coming through the site, changes in modern design, we really think this is the opportunity to create more of a mixed-use product and opportunities here at this location. So this just kind of shows here the growth of the Hogenes, the bisecting of the site that now has occurred with the Sonoran Desert Parkway. And then one of the great opportunities with a nice development like this is further public improvements to be made to the area and benefit the city as a whole. So the purpose of this PAD is to enhance the design guidelines, to provide more opportunities, to provide more direction to commercial developers to come in and to know what their expectations are with development standards and design elements, and all of that's been elevated above what the Avalea PAD kind of conceived in 2006. This is also just integrating with the surrounding properties that have developed around us and that will in the future be developed, and then as well accounting for the Sonoran Desert Parkway. Some pretty pictures just kind of show what's in our design elements to give an idea of the elevated architecture and really the beautiful opportunities that can be made to bring people together into the Maricopa Towne Center and keep those jobs and keep those commercial opportunities here in Maricopa as opposed to having to go up to Tempe Marketplace and to the north for commercial. And then again, the elevated design standards with landscaping and the residential element and the streetscape is included. Not too much there, not too difficult, but really just wanted to introduce that we're really excited to have Vestar investing in Maricopa and providing a really nice commercial development. This sets the stage for really good things for the future, and we're appreciative of your support, and I'll take any questions that you might have about it.
Thank you. Commissioners, questions? Commissioner Clubb.
John, thanks for your presentation. Couple things that I have. One of my challenges with projects as they come through this process is the vagueness of some of the submittals. And normally I would say I'd probably beat you up a little bit harder. However, I know Vestar, I know the product that they bring, I know the quality that they are known for, so that gives me much less pause. You know, I think this is a very viable, much needed center at this location. I think it'll be very successful. I'm familiar with Vestar's, you know, numerous other developments throughout the valley and their successes. Really don't know many failures. So, I mean, they've done a really good job. I also think capitalizing this, I've seen some challenges online about the location and, you know, being right across from the casino. Recently just found out that the casino is getting ready to go through a huge expansion, and their entertainment aspect and district that they're going to be creating, I think complements what we're trying to do here. So I think overall this is a great thing. The only critique that I have, I don't know if we can go back to the staff's presentation. There was a matrix on setbacks and square footage areas. I don't know if we can pull that up real quick. No problem. And this is kind of a question that goes to both the applicant. Yeah, this one here. So, as a design professional myself, coming into projects 10, 15, and I'm saying something to the Rose Law Group that they've heard me say before at other zoning hearings. Whenever I see a setback of anything less than 5 feet, it gives me headaches. Because in 10, 15, 20 years, when someone wants to add something to their home, they want, and in this case, granted it's just an accessory structure. It's minor in the big picture of things. We have that as a 4 foot to side and rear lot lines. Where that causes issues for me is the building code says anything less than 5 feet has to be fire rated. So then I become the bad guy 10, 15, 20 years down the road saying your structure now has to become, you know, 30, 40% more expensive and fire rated, and we can't put windows in and all these other restrictions that kick in. If we can keep these setbacks to 5 feet, it makes my life so much easier. and I'll tell you, it makes these homeowners much happier down the road. They're not necessarily losing anything, but I think they're gaining a lot of advantages that they don't know, you know, these cases exist. And I see everything else has a 5 foot minimum. I think they're a little bit tight, but I think for cluster housing that they're trying to occur here, I think is appropriate. But that's the one that does give me some pause, and I would really like to see that changed.
Commissioner Klob, that's an excellent comment. We appreciate that direction, and we'll take that. One of the great things that you pointed out here is that there's a variety of different housing options that this gives flexibility to development to come in and create that mixed-use environment. What's not being showed on the screen is kind of the design element standards where developers are going to be required to hit above and beyond this to justify really, you know, if they're asking for that smaller setback between homes, well, then they got to provide elevated open space elsewhere. Those type of aspects that we'll be working with your staff to really dig into and make sure these are really excellent product, which is what you're looking for, and I think what we're hearing from you there. So thank you for that comment, and we'll absolutely take that direction.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Thomas.
Thank you. Kind of to piggyback off of what Commissioner just talked about, but with much less detail. I heard earlier about the PAD is coming to the realization that less lot size is desirable, or is it just necessary to maximize how many houses you can get in? And what was the advantages of lot size, less or smaller lot size? Or did I hear it incorrectly?
Commissioner Thomas, if I might, as you can, well, this describes a single-family detached product. We've got other residential products that are going to be allowed and proposed, and this level of detail was not contained in the Avalea PAD, and now we have it to really provide a robust development opportunities. But I definitely think that the concept here is, yes, we were allowed a certain amount of residential during the under the Avalea PAD. What we want to be able to do here is shift it around a little bit, put it maybe a little bit closer to to the east or to the west. Integrate it instead of previously it was kind of this transitional looking for medical office. That's really not up to date with what needs to be done here. So we want to be able to have different types of single-family product next to each other in separate developments, but tie them together under the single PAD kind of design elements. So in terms of the units, the proposal isn't to vastly increase the number of residential units that we're already allowed to do at this property, but it's really to integrate. We'll come in from separate developers, make sure that they're tying into each other so that it's a synchronized overall mixed-use area, and that's really the intent here, not to really change the mix as much of what's already was approved under Avalea's PAD.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Commissioners.
Chairman, Commissioner Thomas, if I may add, with those smaller lot sizes, if you think of townhouses or condo development, townhouse, the lot that it's on, you own the lot, you own the house, but they're connected together, and that's why the smaller lot size is needed. If it was the larger lot size, say 40, 45 foot wide, you've got a 40, 45 foot wide townhouse that's connected at the property line to the next one. Traditionally, they're shallower or shorter, narrower, sorry, is a word to use, where they're on the property line. So you're looking at about a 24-foot wide house. That's a townhouse, maybe 2, maybe 3 stories. And that's where the smaller sizes come in. They aren't tailored for single-family development that has those regular standard setbacks on those smaller lots.
Thank you. Thank you.
Commissioner Yocum.
When we're talking about the smaller lots, I think we've seen a general trend over the last 10, 12 years that people are looking for the smaller lots. They want less grass or less xeriscape to take care of. They have less upkeep expenses. And of course, if with the smaller lot, the homes most likely are not going to cost as much. So I think that particular facet is staying with the times, if you will.
Thank you, Commissioner Yocum.
Commissioner Robertson.
Thanks, Derek and John, for your presentation. In the staff report, it indicates that no negative feedback or comments were received by the city as of tonight. However, I did attend a public meeting, neighborhood meeting, just to observe and listen in, and then I read the cards. 100% of the people that did speak were in favor of the project, but they were not in favor of the multifamily aspect of it. If you read through the cards, they made notes, everything but. So the community's tired of multifamily units. Not that we have a lot of say-so to sway that or move it, but making sure that you're aware that the public comment is opposed to multifamily dwellings. So my question is, first off, 2,113 is the maximum residential units that would be allowed under the current plan. Of that 2,113, what percentage or amount would be multifamily?
Commissioner Robertson, thank you. I was at the neighborhood meeting as well. We had a really good turnout. I'm really happy with the community response that came and had robust dialogue. I heard similar things to you, and that's a lot of excitement about the commercial opportunities, a little bit of multifamily fatigue, but also in my conversations, I think people were pretty excited to hear that the opportunity for townhomes and condominiums that are for sale is something that they really like. And we're excited that that because this is kind of a little bit more of a master planned type project, we think it's really going to attract a more higher scale opportunity than maybe some of the other piecemeal projects throughout the city that occur. So I would say the multifamily aspect is important to us, and one of the main things being, as we heard with the Hogenes expanding and with commercial opportunities, what a great opportunity to provide residents to really work, live, and play in the same vicinity and walk to work and support that growing commercial. I think that's one of the aspects that's really important, that we preserve that and have it as a part of it. In terms of the overall mix, I don't have the crystal ball on that, but the great thing is that the way this is set up is really let the market determine what happens there. And so I really expect we're going to get a lot of interest from single-family developers, and then things are going to kind of fall in line with that. But we don't know. I can't have the crystal ball of really what the mix is going to be exactly today, but we do have a lot of good flexibility with the PAD to let the market decide that and fall in line first of getting that commercial developer in and follow in from that.
Okay, and I saw a note in the slide that what they call, it's used a term that I wasn't familiar with, public improvement of 347. What are we talking about there? Is that a developer improvement of 347, or is that city improvement of 347 to make it the best it can be for this development?
Yeah, Commissioner Robertson, that's a tie that will be to this development and to the developers. So as it comes in, we're anticipating an additional lane being added along with sidewalk and landscaping, and then turn lanes into the side as well. So that's going to be included in the first phase of the major commercial development.
Okay. Very good. Thank you.
Chairman and Commissioner Robertson, if I may add, 347 adjacent to the site, not 347 north of the city.
Commissioner Brems.
Thank you. A question I had is, and then this is maybe more on Derek's side, is obviously we looked at this and city looked at it as a minor amendment, but I mean, really giving 184 acres shift to mixed use and those 40 acres from the medium density, I'm just kind of curious as to why that didn't trigger a major amendment scrutiny versus going down the road that we went.
Chairman, Commissioner Brems, yes, we analyzed it at first flush. We had thought that it was going to be a major, and then when looking in our general plan and the guidance that we get from it on the total acreages that trigger for a major or a minor amendment, none of those were met, so it's a minor amendment.
Thank you.
Vice Chair Juarez.
I just have a few questions here. You may not be able to give me answers on them, but just looking at the size of the development, have we received any letters to serve from the local utilities, for example, like ED3, Global Water, et cetera?
Chairman, Commissioner Juarez, staff has not received any information from any of the utilities that objects to this. It was a standard, you're in our service area, contact us, and when developments come online or come in as proposals, they'll be required to get will serve letters from ED3, the electric district, the sewer and water providers, and if there are off-site upgrades that are needed, they'll be noted at that time and have to be developed at that time for that specific section of development that's being proposed.
Okay, thank you. The other question I had is, when we talk about mixed use, we're looking at different types of commercial. What examples would you have? I'm not going to pin you down for what kinds of stores or other developments are going to come in there, but what caught my attention here is that, and I'm not sure if I heard right, but that in exchange for some of the commercial, you're putting residential in it. Am I correct there?
Vice Chair Juarez, so really the impetus for this PAD update is the Vestar wants to talk to developers, and developers or projects are saying, hey, we need to know what are your development standards, what are the elements, what's going to be around us, how are you updating things for us, and they didn't feel like the Avalea PAD provided the certainty that they needed, and so starting, after council is really when we can get real interest on specifics of, hey, here's the sit-down restaurant, here's the big box anchor retail store. But those are the type of things that we're expecting to come in first is those type of uses. We're not intending to change kind of what commercially we could do in the past in employment at the location. We want to still have the flexibility to do the long list of commercial opportunities. And the intent is not to substitute residential for commercial at all, but to provide the flexibility on where it's located and how it's designed and implemented. So it's really, I don't see any substitution, but you're right, Vice Chair, that the intent here is to update it, give us commercial opportunities, and give the town, the city flexibility on how we can make this into a great center for commercial opportunities.
Okay, so I understand then that you typically Vestar has typical anchor stores or big boxes that come in, and then you'll have behind them typical stores or restaurants that follow them around. That's kind of what the plan is with this?
Yeah, without saying any names, but that's
Right.
exactly it. A lot of times it's the big box anchor. That's the key aspect, and then smaller retail opportunities that kind of support that with restaurants along the street and pad sites developed with different office or other retail opportunities.
Do we have any time frame when this project is actually going to start? You start moving the dirt and starting the project?
I don't know if Ryan's got a perfect time on that because, like I said, we need to get through the PAD process to really get deeper into those conversations with tenants and the development team. But I will say that everything will be in place with this to be able to have quick movement. Those processes obviously take multiple years to get under contract and do the infrastructure improvements and design and all of that. So it could be as close as 2 years. It could be, depending on market conditions, somewhere around that.
Okay. And my final question, because we're in close proximity to the auction nation, has there been any consideration given to having artifact monitors, like somebody on site to monitor the process as they're excavating and they find, say, native artifacts or any other type of artifacts that they stop the construction at that time, they make the proper notifications? Has that been put into the plan as well?
Vice Mayor, that's a great question, and I'm going to have to defer to Derek a little bit on what the city's process is for
Right.
That construction level detail, but absolutely I know that there's standards in place for as you're developing a site. If you, just like when the Sonoran Desert Parkway went through, they have to follow procedures for if something's discovered, report it, and that the state cultural office would review it and have the jurisdiction to decide the value of it and kind of process it needs to go through. Anything to add to that, Derek?
Yes, Chairman Singleton, Vice Chair Juarez. The city has a intergovernmental agreement with the Auction Nation for that, and also in our zoning ordinance we have that codified, that it is required that there is a phase 1 environmental assessment that includes cultural resources research on it. If anything is found during the research, during development of the site, there are certain state protocols that need to be followed for reporting and then escalating from there if needed.
Okay, and my final question, regarding Farrell Road, I noticed that it's going to remain blocked off at the end on the, let's see, on the west end, no, excuse me, the east end. Is there a reason why that won't connect to Sonoran Desert Parkway to give Palo Brea a way out? Because I know there's been comments in the public before. I don't know if they may have been made officially, but I've heard complaints that they only have one way out now.
Chairman Singleton, Vice Chair Juarez, yes, with the dead ending of Farrell Road, that is something the city is interested in doing, making a connection. We are interested in the connection during the construction of the east-west corridor. That wasn't possible because of private land holdings, but the city is open to doing that at some point. What level it'll be, I don't know. And That's about all I know on that. I can follow up with our city engineer to provide the commission with further details if you'd like.
Okay, yeah, I only asked because I just wondered if that was going to be tied into this project, if the developer was going to have any partaking in it or no. Okay, thank you very much.
Commissioner Robertson.
Oh, one more question, John. I know we can't nail you down on a timeline, but can you talk to us about the phasing? What would phase one look like? What would be the emphasis on phase one, phase two, that type of thing?
Yeah, Commissioner Robertson, the first phase is going to be commercial. That's the initial phase that's tied to public improvements and to what's going to get done on site. So that needs to come in first, and then the other aspects I would see domino from that to really support that project happening initially. I really don't have a timeline that I can nail down for you, like you said, but that's when the Sonoran Desert Parkway went through the site, we committed to a development agreement with the city that provided for that commercial development to be included, and so we know that's going to come, and then we'll let the market dictate after that.
Well, Commissioner Robertson stole one of my questions, but my other question, just for the folks in the audience to know, how many square feet of commercial are we looking at for this location?
Chair Singleton, so the minimum required is going to be 100,000 square feet of commercial development, and then we expect the maximum would be 1 million square feet of development for the overall site.
Thank you. This is a public hearing, so I will open that up. If anybody has anything to say on this agenda item, please step forward.
Thank you.
All right. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Commissioners, do I have a motion for GPA 23-05?
I would like to move that we approve, please.
I have a motion by Commissioner Yocum. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh. Whoever.
All right, seconded by Vice Chair Juarez. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion passes. That'll take us to agenda item 5.2, PAD 23-04. This is a public hearing. A request from Rose Law Group on behalf of property owners SP Dunn / AKH Ochan LLC requesting review and approval to create the Maricopa Towne Center Planned Area Development, PAD, including the creation of the development land use plan, permitted uses, and development standards for Maricopa Towne Center, a proposed mixed-use commercial and residential development. The property is generally located at the southeast corner of West Farrell Road and John Wayne Parkway. This is for discussion and action. This is the same presentation again, right, Derek?
Correct, Chairman. I'm happy to present if the commission would like.
Commission, any questions on what we just saw? Okay, this is also a public hearing, so I will open the public hearing. If anybody would like to say anything on this item, please step forward. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Commission, do I have a motion?
Motion to approve PAD 23-04.
I have a motion by Commissioner Robertson. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Klob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion also passes. That takes us to agenda item 5.3. This is sub 25-06, a request by EPS Group, Inc. on behalf of Marbella Homes requesting approval of the Hogenes Farms Phase 1 subdivision preliminary plat to accommodate 406 single-family homes on approximately 98.56 gross acres. The property is generally located at the northwest corner of West McDavid Drive and North Green Road. This is for discussion and action. Derek, take it away.
Thank you, Commissioners. Again, Derek Shear with the Planning Division of Development Services Department, here to present agenda item 5.3, Hogenes Farms Phase 1 Subdivision Preliminary Plat, case number SUB 25-06. This is a preliminary plat application by EPS Group on behalf of Marbella Homes, requesting 406 residential lots on 98.56 gross acres for Phase 1 of the Hogenes Farms development. It is indicated on the map above where it says site, highlighted by the yellow-green. This is over sort of on a western side of development here on McDavid Road. The phase is proposed to have a gross density of 4.1 dwelling units per acre and a variety of lot sizes, all single-family detached. 3 lot sizes are going to be 40 by 110, 151 are 40 by 115, 147 are 45 by 115, and 105, 50 by 120. These varied lot sizes, and specifically those 3 40 by 110s, were permitted under a recent PAD minor amendment that was approved by staff. These had to be shortened up to allow for enough entryway space for the landscape, 25-foot landscape strip that's required along collector roads. The lots before were permeating into that. They had to shorten them rather than mess around with the drainage basins and really reconfigure the whole development. PAD minor amendment just to shorten those lots by 5 feet to make everything happy and work together. As we can see, development standards are being based on the RS5 district, which has a usual requirement of 5,000 square feet. However, with the PADs over the site, they're allowed the 4,500 square feet with a minimum 40-foot wide lot, except for those 3 lots that I just mentioned that were included in that other minor PAD. For landscaping and open space, the applicants provided preliminary landscape plan for this phase, as you can see above. There are 3 large open space park areas and 8 open space drainage areas provided that include amenities for the future residents. All the residents within the phase are going to be provided with adequate access to open space areas as required by our subdivision ordinance, section 17 of the code. And with this development, we're also anticipating, and the applicant is providing connections to the future Hogenes Farms Phase 2, which will be to the north of the site. If I go back to the site plan, what you see basically parallel with future Green Road there, that strip going east to west, that'll be the Phase 2. That'll come in at some point later on. We're anticipating, as you can see, the roadway connections. We also have the pedestrian connections, and then there'll also be trail connections between the drainage corridors. Access and circulation for the site. Main access for the Phase 1 is going to be via West McDavid Road along the southern boundary of the project, all along that south side there. McDavid will be a collector road at this point with a 75-foot right-of-way. There are 3 proposed vehicular connections into Phase 1. There's 2 that are coming off of McDavid Road that you can see that go to the neighborhood parks. And then also Green Road at the cul-de-sac that you see on the top right there, there's going to be for now, emergency fire access to provide greater accessibility in the event of an emergency at that site. In the future moving forward, as I'll move on, I'll explain the extension of Green Road and the overpass over the Union Pacific Railroad tracks. So conformance with the general plan, the proposed development is consistent with the general plan future land use map designation of the area. Also for the zoning, the proposal meets requirements of the planned area development, the Hogenes Farms PAD, and the proposal meets requirements outlined in section 17 of the subdivision code, section 18 of the zoning ordinance. And there is a slide that is slipping here. Here it is, sorry. For the Green Road, as this develops, and right before the meeting I confirmed all of this with the city engineer, we anticipate Green Road being developed and that overpass being under construction while this development is going vertical. By the time there are about 100 residences in there, the overpass should be built. This is necessary for that fire access, providing those 2 means of ingress, egress to this development. It is on the west side all the way at McDavid Road, but we're ensuring that this development occurs in conjunction with that Green Road extension and the overpass going over the railroad tracks. Green Road will continue all the way up to the 238, and then, as the commission knows, there will be a bypass going from 347 north of Cobblestone and then connecting here. So we'll have this sort of bypass loop here to take this traffic and these residents from, if they're heading north, they're not going to come all the way in through town, go all the way up through 347, through all the lights, and at the Smith Inc. 347 intersection there. Staff recommends that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve Hogenes Farms Phase 1 preliminary plat, case number SUB 25-06, subject to the conditions of approval stated in the staff report, and/or as amended by the Commission. I'm happy to answer any questions that the Commission may have.
Thank you, Derek. Commission, any questions? Commissioner Robertson.
Derek, is Phase 2 north or south of this proposal?
Phase 2 will be north of this proposal. We do have another PAD application that's making its way through, that's to the south. So the north one, basically, if you go 2 blocks up, 2 blocks being green sections up, that'll be Phase 2 north of the site. The other Hogenes South will be that area, the square just south of it. Everything on that west side where you see the desert landscape there, and then also those 2 very green pads, that is drainage basin, and it's still being worked out, but the last I heard it was a 1,000-foot wide channel because there is that much flow going into this area that'll have to be bypassed and go around.
So Green Road is going to be the primary road in and out for when this is completed, probably?
It's going to be McDavid and Green. It'll depend on the residents and where they're going and what they're wanting to do.
Commissioner Brims.
I have a couple questions. First one, just for my own edification. On the site map in the upper northwest corner, there's a thing that's called a lift station. And I apologize for my ignorance. What is a lift station?
The lift station, Chairman Singleton, Commissioner Brims, lift station is for sewage.
Okay.
So it's gravity fed, but as you slope down, you can only get so much. Then it has to be lifted back up and then gravity fed back down again.
Okay. That makes sense, thank you. My next question that I had, with the traffic, and obviously you talked about Green Road being extended north with an overpass. Is there any conditions that tie any of this to that being done? I would just be concerned that this gets done and then you're having all those residents go through, the north side of the high school, through those traffic lights there and backing stuff up even more. And I'm curious, is it just best hopes that these things are going to line up, or is there any conditions that actually tie this growth with those improvements?
Chairman Singleton, Commissioner Brims, yes, there are agreements between the developer and the city engineer with trigger points of this being developed. Right now, the plans are going in review for Green Road right here with the drainage along it. The overpass is at 30% plans right now. We do have the tentative UPRR approval. They are working parallel together, but there are the agreements between the developer and the city that this has to go through before we're releasing certain aspects of this development.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Vice Chair Juarez.
I just had a couple questions here. One has to do with the location of this project and the possible impact by being in the flood zone. Has that already been straightened out, or was the project going to change because of the size and the proximity to that floodplain?
Chairman Singleton, Vice Chair Juarez, yes, that has been an ongoing thing with this development. Hogenes Farms previously came in, they obtained preliminary plat approval, final plat approval. It never got recorded because of the intricacies needed with the drainage solution in this area. That is why, with those expirations, this pre-plat is coming back in, and the final plats are coming back in. The city has worked with the developer to satisfy those issues. There's been a CLOMAR for the site from FEMA. A LOMAR is anticipated shortly, but of course, with getting reviews and approvals from FEMA, it does take a little while. The last comments I was told that were sent in were responses, and it should be going through. But until that LOMAR goes through, this will be approved, but things won't develop until that's actually in hand.
Okay. 2 more questions. One is just basically curiosity, and the other one is isn't concerned. First, the curiosity is this going to be a dark sky community, or are there going to be street lights?
Commissioner Juarez, at this point, I am not quite sure. No, we don't have. No, it's not. No streetlights, right? No, that's not the applicant. I thought that was the applicant there. No, in the preliminary plat, they didn't show the streetlights, so I don't know until we get to the phase with the engineering plans, and then we'll know. Quite often, the streetlights are just at the street corners and the intersections for safety, but running down the length of the blocks, I'm not sure at this point.
Okay. And then the other one has to do with traffic flow. Because of the size of the development and the amount of traffic that's going to come out of there, is there any consideration to signalization of the entries and the exits of this community?
I don't believe there are at this time. With the TIA for this, if it's warranted for it, or if in the future possibly there could be, but I don't believe so at this time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
Chairman, I just wanted to clarify one thing with regards to Vice Chair's Juarez conversation regarding the flood zone. And in that, talking about LOMARS and CLOMARS, I just want to make sure it's crystal clear that what we're evaluating tonight is out of the flood zone and not affected by that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Klob.
Through the chair, thank you. Derek, thanks for your presentation. Concern that I have is as it relates to the development in this area. I have some firsthand professional knowledge of kind of projects right in this corner, and some of the challenges. And the concern is kind of the, as this green road gets developed and becomes the arterial thoroughfare that we want and need it to become, between what's being shown here, also knowing there's a drainage ditch that's just on just east of kind of where the road is shown now. It's already kind of posed some challenges to some of the adjacent properties to the east as far as access and ability for access, and then kind of compounding it with the overpass and kind of how those things are going to tie back in together. And so my concern is, as this goes forward, having the space that's going to be needed to accommodate that level of traffic that I think this will be generating, especially on Green Road, but also on McDavid. They're going the east and west, and as this develops further to the south, we got hundreds. I don't know the number, is it 1,000 homes that are kind of coming into this Hogenes Farms, everything when it's all developed out. Add that to Maricopa Meadows and other developments that are happening, potentially happening north of McDavid Road to the east. There's a huge conflicts of traffic that's going to happen at this intersection of McDavid and Green Road. So and then I'm also going to back up. There's a legal aspect of this where things I think are changing, and I'm not trying to go down that path yet, but it's going to be a question down the road, is as developers are or are not required to develop these roads in the future, what guarantees do we have that these are all taken into consideration?
Chairman,
could you follow that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was trying to keep up with that. Yes, it is a challenging site, and that's why it's taken this long to get developed. The eastern boundary of this site is on the section line, which is Green Road is a section line road. The section lines are every 1 mile, and there's right-of-way reservation for that. That'll eventually be dedicated, but right now it's just portions reserved. The properties to the east there, they will connect to it. Green Road with the drainage, as you can see right on the right-hand side of the site there, where future Green Road ... goes down. You see all that green there? That is a drainage channel right there. It's sort of a naturally made drainage channel right there, I believe. It is on the eastern portion of that section line. The Green Road, because of that and the challenges with that, is shifting slightly to the west. So there'll be that drainage channel on that east side. The properties that are east of that and connecting to Green will build like box culverts or other type of mechanisms to be able to keep that drainage flow going through there, but cross over with the vehicles. The city engineer and the engineering department are well tuned on this development here and are scrutinizing it for all of these trafficked issues that may or may not occur, and analyzing that TIA. And it won't be approved until it gets to the satisfaction of the city engineer, and that it isn't going to cause these issues or burdens on any other outside developments around here.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner Yocum.
You know, we've had a lot of discussion about the drainage, but I think the issue was it was adequately addressed in the staff report. That the engineering department is satisfied with the initial methods of retaining and maintaining drainage, and the final drainage report and engineering plans will be reviewed and approved, so forth and so on. So that being part of the presentation speaks for itself. Thank you.
Commissioner.
Yeah, my only concern was the traffic, and what every other commissioner has pretty much said is currently as it stands is McDavid's the only way out, right? So as long as there's agreements in place, it's fine by me. But yeah, that was my main concern. Any other comments or questions from commission? Do I have a motion?
So move that we approve.
Second it.
There's no public hearing for this one. So I have a motion to approve SUB 25-06 by Commissioner Yocum and a second by Commissioner Thomas, if I heard correctly.
Yes.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Aye. That motion passes 6-1. This will take us to agenda item 5.4, DRP 25-04. This is just a planning commission update, a major development review permit case DRP 25-04, a request by Gretchen Schroeder of Westwood Professional Services on behalf of Circle K for review of site, landscape, rendering and elevations, and photometric plans for a proposed gas station with convenience store and car wash on approximately 1.83 acres of land within Pinal County parcel number 510-12-0360 within the city of Maricopa, generally located east of the northeast corner of West Maricopa Casa Grande Highway and North Stonegate Road. This is for discussion only. Take it away, Derek.
Thank you, Chairman. Commissioners, again, Derek Shearer, for the record, Planned Division of the Development Services Department. This is agenda item 5.4, which is DRP 25-04. This is an application by Gretchen Schroeder of Westwood Professional Services on behalf of Circle K for the development of a gas station, fuel service station with convenience store located at that northeast corner of Stonegate Road and West Maricopa Casa Grande Highway on an approximately 1.89 plus or minus acres site. That's interesting. Okay, let's see if I back it up and try it again. My apologies. We have a technical issue here where that site plan, which is the landscape plan, is not rendering. In the commissioner's packet, you do have copies of the site plan, elevations, everything. My apologies to the public, everyone in attendance, for not being able to see this. Access to the site, if I can go back to the vicinity map, is going to be via Maricopa Casa Grande Road and Stonegate Road that you see there. On that north side, that's a private drive. That's a drive that goes from basically the Home Depot all the way down to the Walgreens and then over to the Walmart. This application is for the construction of a 16-pump fuel canopy, fuel station with a canopy, 5,200 square foot convenience store, parking for 24 vehicles, internal and external pedestrian connections, These will be from the private drive, Stonegate, and then along the south side there on Maricopa Casa Grande Highway, we have a large trail. They'll be providing a pedestrian connection to that trail as well. The development is proposed to occur in a single phase. Here we have architectural elevations and renderings of the building. And if I can just remind the Commission that this is the first review submittal. Comments are going out to the applicant. This project will not be approved until it meets all of the requirements of the zoning ordinance. Staff does have a couple of comments on the elevations and on the canopy elevations. One, as you can see in that rear elevation, we do not permit those access ladders to be external. They have to be internal per code. And so a bunch of other comments. But in general, planning staff looking at this proposed elevation are quite pleased with it. It is a very good start for the development. We will be providing comments. There will be tweaks. And again, it's not going to be approved until it meets the code. And here we have the architectural elevations of the canopy. You can see with the 16 pumps, staff will have some comments for this as well for the applicant. The proposal is appropriate for the function of the site and is integrated with the existing and future development in the area. The elevations and color combinations appear well integrated and complementary to each other. And the proposal will meet all requirements, as I said, of the zoning ordinance prior to being approved by staff. Notification letters for this meeting and this informational item went out to owners on April 25th, property owners within 600 feet of the site. Again, on April 25th, the site was posted advertising this informational meeting, and today we have the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Staff has not received any comment from the public on this proposal. And if the Commission has any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. And again, my apologies for this not rendering. It was a very good-looking landscape plan.
All right. Thank you, Derek. Commissioners, any questions? Commissioner Brims.
It's just a quick question, that's again out of my ignorance. Is that access road that's on the north side, I guess it's labeled as a private drive, is that maintained by the property owners up there, or is that like a city-maintained one? Only asking because having driven down that many times, it's a roller coaster.
That, Chairman, Commissioner Brems, that is a private drive. The main property owner here is responsible for the maintenance of it. City staff has engaged a property owner about fixing it, making it less roller coastery, providing curbs and drainage along it and everything like that. That will occur as more development, as you can see on the site plan above, or sorry, the aerial above, there's a lot of vacant land still there. As that starts to trigger on the north side, the city will be pushing for that to be fixed to provide safe and efficient movement of vehicles and people.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Commissioner Robertson.
That was my same question, if there was an opportunity to get some repairs on that roller coaster during these projects. Is, kind of off topic a little bit, is Buffalo Wild Wings still an option for over here?
Currently, we have an application in for the Buffalo Wild Wings that is still being reviewed and worked on with.
Not on the agenda. I hate to do
I
it.
thought I'd try.
Commissioner Klob.
This is a comment to my fellow commissioners on the end. Don't take away my fun drive. That's all I had. Thank you.
The only comments I really have is seeing as on social media the other day, apparently the Circle K on Porter was out of gas. I'm seeing this is very much needed on this side of town. So I'm glad to see this, start to come forward. Another thing I would like to potentially see on this is Circle K does have their own EV charging stations, and as the city grows and EV transportation, starts to become, I'll say, more mainstream in a sense, we have no charging infrastructure. So seeing, a new Circle K site come with that, Marana has one, Goodyear has one, why not us, right? But glad to see another gas station come into the city. So.
Chairman, we currently don't have any regulations for commercial providing it, but it's something we can definitely approach them with.
Yeah. Commissioner Klob.
I did notice a little housekeeping item on the proposal. on your slide. It says photometric plans for a field house facility.
Oh, my goodness. My apologies. Yes.
Don't mean to call you out, but before
Yes,
it goes
thank
to
you.
the next step.
Absolutely. We do reuse slides and update it instead of starting from scratch on every one. My apologies.
Awesome, thank you. That will take us to agenda item 6, which is reports from commission and/or staff.
Thank you, Chairman. Just no real reports to give you this evening. We are scheduled to have another meeting in 2 weeks. We've got quite a healthy agendas going for the next 6 weeks, really. Oh, God, I keep doing that. I keep thinking the next meeting's 2 weeks down the road, and I believe that would be June 12th, not 2 weeks down the road. But we'll have those, or actually I think it's June 9th. I don't have a calendar in front of me right this moment, but the dates get scrambled. But I think we'll stay on that every other 2 meetings a month schedule. My feeling is probably into July and August. So just giving you a heads up. Other than that, have a great Memorial Day weekend, and thank you all for what you do.
Thank you, Rick. I do not see a need for e-session. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. We are adjourned.